Now, welcome into the drive. Hohokam Stadium. What did we say yesterday? It's like videoing somebody eating a cupcake. Hohokam, because ho-hos are those cream-filled
Right,
cupcake and
yeah.
cam.
Yeah, like there's a camera.
Cam with a K though,
Yeah.
like Cam Hayward, but
Or
with a C.
Gordon Hayward
But with a
with
Gordon.
K.
Welcome in. We want to, and we will continue to thank our good friends at Jiffy Lube for
Love
making
Jiffy Lube.
all of this possible. They take such fine, wonderful care of us. We have today, and we have tomorrow, and they're already back. And my goodness, Kyle, do we have all kinds of stuff prepped for today? I just want to remind everybody, Jiffy Lube Multi-Care, it's the same great services, but now with brakes, tune-ups, and tires at select locations. Visit jiffylubca.com for valuable coupons and a location near you.
I'm having a tire issue. I'm going to Jiffy Lube.
Go to Jiffy Lube.
They've got me covered.
They will take care of you. They have you covered. We have all kinds of stuff to get to. Multiple A's will join us today. Sad day, because we had worked it out yesterday where we were going to be able to surprise everybody with some amazing video content and actually get into the cage here on the field and take a few cuts.
Yep.
We even met the guy, very nice gentleman who throws batting practice, who was like, you guys want to get in there? Okay, stupid. And he was all for it. We were even going to see if we could dig up some old uniforms to wear.
Get real into it.
And it's raining. They have the field tarped.
Brutal.
No way we're stepping on that field today.
No chance.
Even if it were to stop raining right now and the sun were to come out at 6:04, they're not letting us on the field.
No chance.
Ain't happening. And then, of course, tomorrow we leave right after the show. So we'll have to, we'll have to do it next year, Kyle.
Bummer.
Or just hit Scandia back home.
There we go.
And do some magic with filming. That's Kyle Madsen, Joe the engineer behind us, making all your video dreams come true.
In front of us?
In front of us, to the side of us, behind us, whatever you want to say. Cage2K.com is where you can see all the video stuff. And, of course, go to the Cage2K YouTube page where we have everything pretty much archived. Jay Marshall back in the studio is doing a fantastic job at getting everything archived, popped up, and edited up, done. So we very much appreciate him. He's got the short end of the stick. We wish he was down here with us. He's back in the studio making sure. Hello, how are you? Oh, hey now. You know what I mean.
Hey now.
You know exactly what I mean. But we would all have fun together down here. In fact, speaking of fun together, I didn't get to this yesterday because we had so much to get to. Kyle, I have a list of things.
Oh, please. Okay.
Where do I start? Oh, okay. I have a list of things. I got to try to get all this out in 7 minutes.
All right.
I want to punch people.
Okay.
That's it. We'll take a break.
All right.
When you're on a plane and the plane lands and then it taxis and it stops, everybody gets out of their seats and they start moving forward. And I want to punch the people that just pass everybody in their seats and start moving forward. It's like, no, dude. Especially for the people sitting by the window.
Right.
We have to stay in our seats.
If you want to get off the plane quicker,
sit more front.
Check in sooner so you can sit in the front.
Right. There was a dude with long blonde hair that was right. It was about 5 rows.
I mean, a real Ronnie Sunshine Bass looking.
Honest
guy.
to God, and I was so tempted.
Lords of Dogtown looking.
That was a deep reference right there. And he was he was about 4 or 5 rows behind us, and when it was time for our row to get out. He was trying to shuffle by. I had an opportunity, and to this moment, I'm upset I didn't take it, to just kind of shoulder him back.
You should have.
And then just really take my time, just to do it. And I didn't, and I feel really bad. I was like,
and you had an excuse too, because your bag barely fit in
barely,
the overhead
yes,
bin.
it was very close.
You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, thank you for that. You had me adjusted. It was fine. Those people really upset me. I was very angry at that.
Yeah,
that
it's
gentleman.
a zipper, man. If you try and mess up the zipper, it throws off the whole pattern.
We have an Airbnb down here. I love to rent Airbnbs when we travel because
you're a big Airbnb guy.
You can do hotels where you're stuck in your room and everyone. Airbnb. I like it. We're all under the same roof. We can see each other. We've got fridges.
We've done a lot of talking and hanging out.
Ton of talking. We went to the grocery store the night we got here, and we're all coffee fans. Kyle bought the creamer, and he bought salted caramel. Everybody knows when you're with a group of people, there's really only 3 acceptable types of creamer to buy.
Plain, vanilla, hazelnut.
I didn't even need to say it. You nailed all 3. You are 100% correct. I swear to God, that's the exact 3. Plain, hazelnut, vanilla. Or French vanilla is acceptable too. That's it. Kyle got salted caramel.
Right. So the type of creamer I was going to get, it was either they had 2 types. They had Tahitian vanilla.
Bless you, Joe.
Dude, we're on air. Come on.
Yeah, wow. Someone needs attention.
There was Tahitian vanilla or salted caramel. And
that was just in the brand you were looking at, though, right?
Yeah, they're the best kind.
There was like the normal,
but they're like super thick, heavy creamers. They're delightful.
There was like the normal Coffee Mate creamers that had the normal flavors.
Yeah, well,
you just went for.
I did. I went for the one I like. You let me pick out the creamer.
Okay. Everyone's freaking out about how you can peel a pineapple.
I didn't know you could do that. No.
You can grab the little thorns.
I thought they specifically had the thorns to prevent.
That's exactly what I thought. Apparently, they're handles. Oh. I want to try this when I get home and see if it's the real deal or if it's just, made for television. Joe, the engineer, thought it was funny that I made a note of this, that we have the entire house to ourselves, but there's also some random lady renting the garage at the Airbnb. Now, I don't want to jinx anything, but we haven't seen her. They said you won't see her. She has her own separate entrance.
Yeah.
The only reason we even know she's there, I haven't even heard her. The only reason we know she's there is because there are cars in the driveway.
Yeah.
I think it's worked out well so far.
Yeah, it's been great.
We even have a pool table.
I thought for sure it was going to be one of those deals where we walked in and she was like going to greet us. It's like, hello, welcome to.
How are you? Welcome in. In fact, I remember Joe had some thoughts on her yesterday that he was expressing on the way back as far as their interaction with her and perhaps her interaction with us, and that hasn't happened either. So
no, she's great tenant, big fan,
very good,
big fan,
huge fan of the drive.
Yeah.
This is an old note, but I'm a huge fan of the Jaguar, not the lady in the zoo. There was a story over the weekend where a lady hopped a fence and take a picture with a Jaguar, and the Jaguar shockingly scratched her.
Hey, pro tip. There's fences at the zoo for a very specific reason.
Yes.
And that's it.
There was some worry that they might put the Jaguar down, and apparently the zoo was like, no, that's not happening. Yes. The Jaguar did literally nothing wrong. Yes. Lady came out either late yesterday or early this morning and apologized. So good on the lady. She made a stupid decision.
I feel like every other time this has happened, the person sues the zoo, and then they put the animal down, and this time the zoo's like, screw that.
Yep, the lady apologized.
Like, you can't handle the Jaguar, get out of the Jaguar cage.
Can't handle the Jaguar, get out of the cage.
Like, if you're going to do that, make sure you take some jiu-jitsu lessons from the guy that choked out a mountain lion
choked out the mountain kitten, as everyone's saying. So lady was good. She apologized. Zoo was great. Stood up for the Jaguar. Jaguar got a piece of lady arm. Everyone wins in this scenario.
Delicious piece of
and finally, this is really the first time I've had an opportunity to spend any time with you outside of the station. I have learned something.
Okay.
You're a turtle.
What does that mean?
Meaning you are very deliberate in your movements. I've noticed this. For example, yesterday we were here for about 3 hours after the show ended, maybe 4 hours, and part of that was certainly we were talking A's players and all that, but I feel like when it comes time to go somewhere, you are very deliberate in your. I know you were working.
Yeah.
To be fair,
right? I have multiple jobs, and I get distracted very easily.
Yes,
and I know that about myself, and so I have to be deliberate when putting my things away or finishing things up because I need to make sure I have everything.
When we were eating,
because if I go quick, I'll forget something.
Last person to leave when we were eating, which is fine.
That's because I got peer pressured into getting the bottomless bowl. So I felt the need to get an additional one.
Best part was that we go to this place to eat. Kyle suggested. It was a good suggestion. And Joe and I are done. We go to leave, and we'd already been out. Like, we were missing naps the whole thing. We were already going to be late. So we're walking to the car. Kyle says, I'm going to go to the hat shop.
I told you guys that was happening.
Joe and I looked at each other like, are you
really
break. Going to the hat shop?
Yeah, dude. I told you guys beforehand.
You're a turtle. It's okay. I'm not ripping you.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm a
turtle. I love my life.
I'm a turtle when it comes to breaking.
All right, let's go.
We have a big show for you today. I already told you that, live from Mesa, Arizona. Appearing on the show today, Matt Olson, Jesus Luzardo, Marcus Simeon, and Matt Chapman. We're going to talk about Russell Westbrook, and, of course, we will talk about the Sacramento Kings. Top Morning Brew next, right here on the Drive, Sports 1140 KHTK.
Sacramento Kings fall to the Washington Wizards in Washington, 121 to 115.
Thank you, Kyle. I already knew that. God, way to rub it in.
What do you want from me, man?
I'd like a couple more wins for my Sacramento Kings, who have now lost 7 of 10. Here's the deal. A lot of people last night saying, "Are you ready to call it now? Are you ready to call it now? Is a playoff race over? Are you ready to call it now?" I'll put it out there like this. I'm not going to be like, no, I'm not going to say the playoff race is over until they're mathematically eliminated. I think that's a little bit silly, especially when they're this far out this early in the season. If we were in the last week or so, I'd be like that. But I will say that the whole thing about catching the Clippers and the Spurs, well, of course they've gone on tremendous runs. So now it's the Utah Jazz that are in the 8th spot, still 4 ahead of the Kings. And I believe, I haven't even looked at this, I'm almost positive the Jazz have the tiebreaker. I know they beat the Kings in Sacramento on opening night. They beat them November 25th. Also in Sacramento, I'm trying to see. I thought the Kings beat them once this year. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, like early in the year.
Oh, they did. The Kings beat them there. So the Jazz have the tiebreaker, is the bottom line. What does that mean? That means the Kings currently, right now, for all intents and purposes, are 5 games behind the Utah Jazz with 16 to play. It's an almost insurmountable lead. For me to stay on the playoff wagon, they're going to need to do what is almost impossible. They're going to need to beat the Celtics on Thursday, and they're going to need to beat the Heat or the Sixers on Friday on the second game of a back-to-back. If they do both of those, I'll say, oh, okay, they're still breathing.
Right.
But I fully admit that's all but impossible. It's not going to happen. Last night, the game was
mathematically possible.
Mathematically possible, but realistically, man, and I'm not going to be stubborn like that. I have a problem with, with 20 games left and the Kings losing. It's like, oh, it's over when they're 4 out. Now we're getting to the nitty-gritty. This game was there for the taking, Kyle. This game was there at the very end. You can just tell the loss of Marvin Bagley, which is almost a good thing, that you feel the loss so much. It means he's effective.
Right.
The loss of Marvin Bagley may end up being, and most likely will end up being, the difference between being a playoff team and not.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a huge injury for them. And like you said, it's not good that he got hurt, but it's good that he's such an impact player already in year one. And it's like a tangible impact. Like, he can score. He's been better defensively than I think a lot of us thought he would be. He's a great rebounder, and when you get in these close games, an extra 2 or 3 rebounds, an extra 2 or 3 possessions is the difference.
Yep.
And that's what we're seeing here down the stretch.
We will have more of this throughout the day, and at 6:30 we'll break this down. We'll revisit the playoff situation and find out what went wrong, and also we'll talk. I want to talk about the fans as well and the reactions last night. Number 2.
UFC fighter Conor McGregor was arrested yesterday.
He was, Kyle. That is an absolute fact.
Thank you.
Conor McGregor was arrested in South Florida for smashing the cell phone of someone who was trying to take his photo. According to a Miami Beach police report, he was arrested yesterday afternoon, charged with strong-armed robbery and criminal mischief, both of which are felonies. He was reportedly leaving the Fontainebleau, Miami Beach shortly after 5 a.m. on Monday, because good things happen then.
Right.
22-year-old man attempted to take a picture of him. According to police, McGregor slapped the phone out of the man's hand and then stomped on it several times. He then grabbed the phone and left the area. Police later found McGregor at his local address. He was released on bail. I'm a UFC guy. I appreciate Conor McGregor's skills. But this now becomes a very interesting thing that I think goes beyond sports. And you could really turn this into a political thing if you wanted to. I will choose to not do this on the radio, but I will say this. Conor McGregor being here is a privilege. And by being here, I mean being in this country. It's a privilege for all of us. And I start to wonder about the inconsistencies when you have a guy like McGregor who threw a dolly through a bus window. And I made the mistake back then of saying, oh, dude, he's going to be suspended for a year. This knocked people off of fight cards. It literally injured people. This kid's going to jail. Well, money gets you places.
Right.
That didn't happen. But now we once again have another situation where you've got multiple felonies now being charged with McGregor, on McGregor. This dude's not completely in control.
Nope.
And he needs to go. You need to go, Conor. Having that card is a right. Being able to work here is a right. And if you're going to use those same rules for everyone, I don't like it when rich people get away with it.
Sure.
That's my problem. That's as political as I'm going to get on this. But somebody needs to give Conor McGregor a reality check in this situation. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. Number three. That's you.
It's me. I'm used to you hitting the button.
Hi, how are you?
Russell Westbrook got into a verbal altercation with a fan last night in Utah.
Okay, so this is much bigger than the time we have left in Morning Brew. What Kyle said is true. This is a thing. This is going to dominate headlines for the next few days, if not longer. There are certainly two sides to this story. We will explore both sides. We will explore the ramifications for Russell Westbrook and also the fans. And we will go behind this as Twitter never, ever lets you down. There are receipts for everything. I think it's a very fascinating conversation as to what the NBA should, could, and needs to do, if anything, in this situation. And we'll talk about that at 6:45. We'll also revisit the Conor McGregor situation. Sacramento Kings next, and your Peckus Brothers moment of the game right here on Sports 1140 KHTK live from Mesa.
Toaster, monkey, parrot, turtle. This guy's an idiot. My God, he's dumb.
You're dumb.
More of the drive now.
Thanks. I thought Jay's update, by the way, needed double music there. I thought it'd be fun to do that.
Yeah, because he is bringing sexy back.
He is. So I just wanted to give him that real quick.
Yeah, I got you, dog.
That is our pleasure. Welcome into the drive. I should throw out the phone numbers here. 1-800-920-1140. That is your Fire Wings hotline. 21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com. Just wing it. You can text us at 441140. That is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, and Jiffy Lube has us covered also down here in Mesa, Arizona. Hohokam Park, day 2 of our spring training coverage. Kyle, I told you before, but you probably forgot. Later today, we will hear from Matt Olson, Jesus Luzardo, Marcus Simeon, and Matt Chapman. We talked to Bob Melvin yesterday, and, of course, all interviews available not only on the KHTK YouTube page. Jay's doing a fantastic job with that, but also available on the KHTK app as well. All right, Sacramento Kings last night lost to the Washington Wizards. They're going to have to beat Philly, and they're going to have to beat Boston. That is a back-to-back that starts on Thursday.
They've got to win like 4 or 5 in a row
here. In the end, what's funny, we will go back at the end of the season and look at games, and I know people go, "Oh, the Washington game killed us. The Minnesota game killed us." In the end, it may not even matter, in the words of Lincoln Park. In the end, San Antonio and the Clippers have caught fire. The Kings losing 7-10 obviously certainly doesn't help their situation. but it just may not matter. Last night's game, as we said, was completely in grasp, and they just didn't do it.
Did you know the Kings haven't won more than 3 in a row since a stretch of games from October 24th to November 1st?
Yeah, it's been a grind. It has been an absolute grind.
They haven't won 3 in a row since January 30th to February 4th, and they haven't won back-to-back games since February 8th and 10th.
Wow, just keep piling on, Kyle.
I'm just saying, they got to rip off a winning streak if they're going to make a push.
36 minutes last night for Bielitsa off the bench, 15 points and 12 boards. It was a good game for him. De'Aaron Fox had 23 and 8. Buddy Hield struggled, 6 of 21, 1 of 9 from behind the arc. That is rough. And, hey, listen, Bogdan Bogdanovic, at some point, I feel like this is already a thing. It was a thing a while ago. Bogdan Bogdanovic, though I will say he is doing things other than that don't show up in the box score that do help. But Bogdan Bogdanovic offensively has just been poor. He's just been with flashes of brilliance. He really seems like he's fallen off since that Lakers buzzer beater, and I know that's coincidental, obviously, but
Right.
there's an issue there. I don't know what it is.
Well, when he's supposed to be the leading guy off the bench, right? He's supposed to be your sixth man who was going to come in and orchestrate the second unit and be the primary scorer there, and he's not putting the ball in the basket.
No, and he's also starting now, and that's the problem. And that may also have something to do with it. I don't know if his slide coincides. It was going on before he started. And I know that Jaeger doesn't really have too many options with Bagley out.
Right.
But when Bagley returns, which could be as soon as the Boston, we thought he'd be back the first home game after this trip. He may be back as early as Boston and maybe even Philadelphia. And I understand you're going to probably want to bring him off the bench for the first couple games, but I just don't know if I don't think Bogdanovic is a starter. I don't think that's where he's best suited, at least not with this lineup.
I don't think so either.
Peckus Brothers. Jay, I don't want to put you on the spot. Do we have or do you need a second? I want to get to the Peckus Brothers moment of the game. You got it? All right. Let's roll tape on last night's Peckus Brothers moment of the game.
Opportunity, a look off by out
5 seconds.
rim for the finger roll to make it a 6-point contest in 95-89.
Thank you to the legend Gary Gerald. That is your Peckus Brothers moment of the game. Spring is coming up. The weather's going to get quite nicer over there in Sacramento. You're going to be working on your backyard, pools, patios, backyards, the whole thing. What, you're pointing at? Yeah, well, the sun's coming up, Kyle. I'm doing a read.
No, do you see just beyond
The tarp?
Just beyond the fence there?
Are we looking at the? Are you looking at the sign or the? Oh my God! They made the trip. It's the Peckus Brothers. Wow!
Of course it is.
Wow! Can't believe they're down here in Mesa.
You made the trip. That's really cool.
I want to. We don't have time to get into it right now, Kyle. But I feel it's time to have another talk with our fellow. Excuse me, my fellow Kings fans. Yeah. And we'll do that at 7:35. Really, really, I don't know that I've ever been more annoyed with our fan base.
That's because Twitter wasn't around the last time they were good.
I'm tying that in because, funny you say that, today is the 10-year anniversary of my first tweet. And the only reason I know that is because you get the thing that says happy anniversary and whatever. And
You
it
have
said,
it written down.
it's your 10. I know. I have it on my calendar.
What was your first tweet?
I think it was, you remember how, I don't know how early you got on, but remember when
2009.
it was like legit. Okay, same here. So remember when everything was like a legit status report? I think it was something like Carmichael Dave is a ninja or something.
Yeah.
It was like something dumb. Like it was just, or like
Sure.
going to eat lunch.
So you said Carmichael Davis a ninja. So your first tweet was a lie.
No, not. I don't think you know this about me, but I am in fact, yes.
I tweeted to my 0 followers to listen to my college radio.
See, there you go. And they obviously listen.
Yeah.
Yes, social media is a big part of it. Yes, there are loud minorities and there are quiet majorities in these situations. But I find myself after every loss, and I know I bring some of it onto myself, and I also know that it's kind of a gathering place, and I accept that, but I think it is perfectly okay to be upset at last night's loss. I think it's perfectly okay to say this team lost when they had to win. I think it's perfectly okay to criticize player performance and team performance overall. Where I get lost is when it's this team is soft, they're overrated, they were never going to make the playoffs, Dave Yeager sucks, this season's a failure, Vlade's got to go.
1 minute and I need a Fire Wings read.
That's where I go, what is wrong with you? Like, I'm pissed about last night's loss.
Sure.
I also understand, and I saw you do one of your micro-macro tweets last night, I also understand that this season is a resounding success of overachievement. You can have both.
But last night sucked.
Last night did suck. There's no way around that. And last night's suck tweets or conversations are all on the table. Everything's on the table. As I always say, fan how you want. But I think it's an embarrassment to be a fan. And I'm using air quotes here when I say fan. When the analogy I used last night, you're starving to death for 14 years. Somebody hands you a cheeseburger and a glass of water. You throw it back at them because it's not filet mignon and champagne. Like, dude, there are steps.
Sure.
There are steps to get there, very recognizable steps.
Break time.
And we're ahead of where we thought we were going to be.
Yep.
It's a serious thing, man. It's very weird to me. We'll talk about that at 7:35. When we get back, Conor McGregor arrested. Let's talk about Russell Westbrook and what happened last night. All kinds of stuff coming around. And as always, Twitter always has receipts. We'll get into that as well. It's a drive. Back in a couple. Sports 1140 KHTK. If you're watching at KHTK.com, you can see the tarp on the field. A little rain today down here in Mesa, Arizona. From what I understand, checking the iPhone weather report, which is always super accurate. Good thing we have Jay back in the studio who can verify this. 63 degrees is going to be the high today in Sacramento.
That's a very nice day.
Wow. It's going to be up to 73 on Monday and sunny. Spring here. So, of course, we come down to Phoenix for the rain. That makes total and complete sense. So there's a big white tarp on the field. We were hoping to get on there and do some batting practice today. We got permission from the A's to do that. Unfortunately, they're not going to let us anywhere near there. But we do, of course, have A's coverage for you today. Matt Olson, Jesus Luzardo, Marcus Simeon, and Matt Chapman, all coming up at 8:05 in that segment. Kyle, before we mentioned Conor McGregor getting arrested, what we didn't have a lot of time in Morning Brew to get to because it's a very layered story, is Russell Westbrook last night. There is controversy abound as Russell Westbrook once again got into it with Utah fans. And that's not me taking sides. That's me stating a fact. There's been a long history of Westbrook and Utah fans. And I think when people stereotypically think of Utah, we all know what comes into our heads. And you don't think about them having – like you think about Philly with crazy hardcore fans. Right. You don't think about Utah. Utah Jazz fans are, as you kids say, very low-key. They can be a very brutal fan base when it comes to cheering on their team. Last night, it was caught on camera, and Russell Westbrook yelling at a fan near courtside, saying, amongst other things, "I will blank you up." He also went on to say, where is the quote here? He went on to say, "I will blank him up if he says that blank again, I promise you." Then he looked towards the fan and said, "I promise you, you think I'm playing? I swear to God, I'll blank you up. You and your wife, I will blank you up." Now, the fan was interviewed after the game, said, "I did not use foul language. My wife never said anything. She remained in her seat. I told him to go ice up his knees. He said it was heat. I said, you're going to need that heat then." Or I'm paraphrasing now, but according to the fan, it was very benign. Russell Westbrook said that the fan said to him, "Get down on your knees like you're used to." That's a quote. Westbrook considered that comment to be racial and inappropriate, going on to say, I will not take that disrespect for me or for my family. There's got to be something done. There has to be some consequences. Apparently, there were some, quote, red cards handed out to fans. When fans misbehave near NBA sidelines, they'll get a warning card, basically, unless it's very egregious and warrants immediate ejection. Right. And if they get another one, they're gone. They can be suspended for a game. They can be barred from the arena entirely. So this is a case of he said, he said. We, as of yet, do not have tape of the fans saying anything egregious. The only tape we see is what Russell Westbrook said. Now, first glance, we don't have a tape of the fan, but we have a tape of what Westbrook said. I obviously, using foul language towards fans is never a good look, and it's especially not a good look when you say, I will blank you up, I will blank your wife up. That's really where I think Russ is going to have issues and where he's likely going to miss a little bit of time. However, Patrick Patterson, Russell Westbrook's teammate, confirmed Westbrook's side of the story, and the contrarian there says, well, what is Patterson going to do? Go say, yeah, Russ is lying. Of course, he's going to back his teammate up, so you've got that.
I think if he didn't hear anything, he
wouldn't have said anything.
Yes.
I completely agree. But again, we're back to what he said, she said. What's starting to come out, though, are a lot of this fan's past tweets. And we talk about social media. There's always receipts there. And let's just say some of these tweets are they're highly questionable. You know what? Let me take that back. They're literally not questionable at all. No. Some of them, for example, Russell Westbrook now, here's where I'm
They're racist.
Here's where this is why I'm pausing. Not with that determination. I instinctively want to pause because the account has been locked. And in today's day and age, while I'm assuming that those tweets are accurate.
Oh, I saw them retweeted. I didn't just see screenshots.
Because I saw his account was locked. I went on to try to look for it myself. I saw screenshots. Oh, no, I do too. But can you retweet a locked account?
No, but they got retweeted before it got locked.
Okay. So your confidence level is at a 10 that those are accurate. That's my only pause. We've seen people doctor tweets before, but under the assumption that they are real.
I think the guy got hacked last night.
Got hacked?
Yes,
okay.
Because there were some really egregious tweets coming from his account last night.
Well, you saw him take a picture of his red card and put it out there like he was proud of it. There was a tweet, and one of the tweets in question was he said Russell Westbrook needs to go back where he came from. #MAGA. Again, not going to the political situation, but that was what the tweet read in its entirety, and that's why I'm including it. I think there was one that said Russell Westbrook needs to get his ass kicked from a while back. So there are certainly some receipts on the other end that would lend credence to the idea that maybe this fan wasn't just sitting there saying, "Excuse me, Mr. Westbrook, you need to."
And there's a difference between "Hey, you suck," or "Hey, you're trash," or
right.
When you start attacking a person personally,
right?
Like I know they're athletes, I know they're not supposed to respond to fans and this and that, but when it gets to that level, like you understand that your human instinct takes over.
Correct.
And I like I said, I fully understand the take of, you can't respond to fans. You just have to play through it. But on that same token, like fans just can't have carte blanche to yell whatever they want. Humans.
I agree.
Like they're human beings, man. You can't be talking about a guy's family and about a guy's kids and expect him not to say something. That's when it gets personal. That goes beyond the fan-athlete relationship.
I mean, I'm not being a contrarian because I agree with you, but do we have evidence he talked, or did we hear?
No, going off of if what Westbrook and Patterson said is right.
You need to get back on your knees like you're used to.
Yeah, didn't Patterson say that he referenced his family?
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. Either way. And we've only got 30 seconds left here, Kyle. Everyone's so quick to need to take sides, be team fan, team Westbrook. And, of course, we know that a lot of this argument goes deeper than team fan and team Westbrook, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Is it possible that both sides – I don't like copping out like this, but is it possible that both sides are wrong?
Break time.
Sure.
Is it possible that this fan's a piece of garbage and should probably miss a lot of time? And is it possible that regardless – Russell Westbrook can't be threatening fans or their wives and probably needs to miss a game or two? I mean, is it possible we live in a world where we could have two sides be wrong?
Perhaps.
I don't think this gets decided in a 5-minute
There's more
conversation.
nuance than one guy's right, one guy's wrong.
I completely agree with you. We'll get to more of that later. When we get back, oh my gosh, an hour already in the books. Kyle Madsen is going to shine in this next segment because he spent a lot of time hacking away on his computer, allegedly loading stuff up to Niners Wire. I don't know if that's true or not, but going with that. We'll let Kyle explain a lot of these free agent moves for both the Oakland Raiders, man, they're active, and your San Francisco 49ers. We'll take a break. Back with some football next from Mesa, Arizona. Sports 1140 KHTK.